Hi, I'm SperryScheibe. I'm the Executive Director of Project LookSharp at Ithaca College, and I'm also a professor in the Department of Psychology, where I teach child development and media literacy.
And I'm Chris Sperry, co-director with Cindy of Project LookSharp, 40 years in K-12 public school classrooms. And I am also the director of Project LookSharp's initiative ML3, Librarians as Leaders for Media Literacy.
So Project LookSharp is a nonprofit media literacy initiative of Ithaca College. We've been around for more than 25 years, working primarily with K through 12 teachers and librarians all over the world to integrate media literacy across the curriculum. And we provide resources and professional development, including the work that we're going to talk about today.
So today's focus in our short time together, when we're delighted to be with California school librarians, really excited about the new legislation that's recently passed, integrating media literacy throughout California's curriculum. And that's our work for the last 26 plus years, is helping educators to integrate what we call student-centered, inquiry-based, question-based, but curriculum-driven media analysis, so that students from our educators from pre-K through 12th grade are integrating key questions of media analysis throughout the curriculum, with school librarians as the leaders of this work. So we're going to start that questioning process by asking you to take a minute with our first media document. And by media, we mean everything from books to blogs and TikTok to cave paintings, money, etc. In this case, our media document is a short video that might appear on YouTube or TikTok. And when a student sees a video like this, what questions do you want them to ask themselves? So we'll go to the media document now. What questions would them ask?
Mapping the oceans where we explore.
Protecting biodiversity everywhere we work. Defeating malaria. Improving energy efficiency.
Developing more clean-burning natural gas.
My job at ExxonMobil.
Turning algae into biofuels.
Reducing energy poverty.
In the developing world. Making cars go further with less.
Fueling the global economy.
And you thought we just made the gas.
Energy lives here.
Okay. What questions would you want your students to ask when they saw that video? Take a minute and think about what questions you want them to ask. Now I'm going to go on to the next video. What questions do you want them to ask when seeing this video?
Just made the gas.
What questions do you want your students to ask themselves? And that means they have to have had practice, probably from kindergarten through 12th grade, and asking progressively more complex questions about media. So when they see any media document, from a poster on a wall, an advertisement, the textbook that you hand out in the class, the videos that they're watching on TikTok, that they automatically begin to ask these kinds of questions, not just about the documents that we like or love or celebrate, but also all documents, the documents we critique, the documents we want them to analyze. That is at the heart of this work. And we have over 850 free lessons online for integrating this into all different subject areas and grade levels, including one that uses these two documents on our website. Cindy.
So this idea of asking questions and not so much specific questions as categories of questions, asking questions about authorship and purpose and economics and context and credibility and interpretations, that's at the core of the work that we do. And part of our premise is that if all teachers and librarians incorporated some of these questions into their work with students every day, that would really change the face of education, empowering students and building critical thinking skills.
And we have versions of this for early elementary, different language for questions. We have it in different languages, Spanish, Farsi, others. We have a version of this for media creation. We have posters, all online, accessible and free for folks. And this is a living document, a changing document all the time. So in response to social media and some of AI and some of the new challenges with analyzing media, we have adapted this recently to add questions about the triggering of emotions, connecting to polarization, about using credible sources, and about how our own identities shape not only our interpretation, but in the last session, what we might share or not share with others. So this is a living document that teachers should adapt and change in their work. To give you a little more of a sense about constructivist media decoding and showing you some students and teachers, we're going to show you the beginning of a short video that is on our website, 5 minutes in total. We'll show you most of that throughout this 20 minutes. This is on our homepage.
If all you can do is read print and write print, you're not getting the full benefits of being literate in the world anymore.
Media is all around us, and we are bombarded with it from the day we're born. And it's the pictures that you see in the books you read when you're little. It's the videos that you watch. It's the toys that you play with. It's a more 21st century situated interpretation of what literacy is.
Media literacy is exactly what print literacy is, except that we add the ability to communicate and analyze with pictures and sounds.
You're looking at maps, you're looking at social media feed, you're watching Netflix, and it's giving you information, it's entertaining you, it's persuading you. So if you can help students be a bit more cognizant that that's happening, you're empowering them.
It teaches me how to learn, in a sense, because it's teaching me how to watch and how to look, keep a mindful eye, and how to be aware.
And we want them to not just be consumers of it, but to be able to critique it and identify what techniques are being used and how that's affecting how they think about what they're seeing.
It really should be a requirement that we should learn with multiple aspects of media, not just books.
Constructivist media decoding takes general concepts like inquiry and discussion and analysis, and it makes them real in a concrete way on the ground. That's what CMD does.
Do you think these images reinforce stereotypes or challenge stereotypes?
100% enforces stereotypes.
Why?
Because it's saying that men only do the hard work or the heavy lifting.
Just looking at the cover, who do you think they write Pete the Cat books for? Who's their audience? Who do they want to read that, Kennedy?
For us.
Who's us? If you do think, yes, this book is for teenagers, why do you think that?
Do you think that was done purposefully?
Memes are usually made to bring joke to or kind of make something less serious or more funny.
How would we find out about these claims that were made in that short little video clip? Where would we go to find out? I will show you a little bit more later. Again, you can access this video. We call this process constructivist media decoding, based on the understanding that students construct their own meaning. We can't fill them up with knowledge. It is question-based. It is a process that teaches them to read and write the world. It is a collective reading where they're learning from each other, but they're applying their knowledge in social studies and science and health and all different subject areas, while also interpreting and evaluating all different kinds of media documents. Cindy.
So for us, when we first got started with this work, and did professional development with teachers and librarians, the teachers in particular said, sounds great, but I don't have time. I don't have time to find these documents or to figure out what kinds of questions to ask. And that became the basis of the professional development work that we do, and the start of us providing resources, free resources for educators on our website. So right now, I'm going to show you a little video. This is actually a TikTok video by a librarian. We didn't even know it existed, so it wasn't created by us until someone shared it with us. So.
What do you think the creator of this media wanted you to
That's something I really love about the Project Look Sharp lessons. They're all based on these series of inquiry questions that students answer as they attempt to decode the media. They have over 500 media literacy lessons that you can search by keyword, subject, or age and grade level. These media literacy lessons are for every single subject area. Here's one of my favorites that we use all the time in global studies. And in this lesson, students analyze National Geographic covers to draw conclusions about how we stereotype African civilizations. You can see that this lesson includes PowerPoint, student handout, teaching guide, and activity plan. Let's take a peek at the activity plan that comes with the Africa lesson. It tells me grade levels, it gives me objectives, it tells me what standard it aligns to. I've got some vocabulary. It talks about the media that's included in a separate file. It tells me how to do this. It gives me links to the PowerPoints and some websites for additional procedures. It tells me the time for the activity, and then it goes ahead and it walks me through the procedures for running this lesson and what kinds of questions to ask students. Best of all, Project Look Sharp is totally free. You have access to all of these great lessons plans, resources, objectives on their website, and you just create an account. No cost involved.
Know from the things I've shown you which one's more credible or not, Alana?
No, I think you need more information.
And what's the information you need to have to really delve into the issue of credibility?
Who these people are, what their purpose is, how they're getting their information.
Yes. Yeah, anything else to add?
How they're getting their funding.
Why is that significant?
Because the money basically controls it. So.
What do you mean? Okay, I'll show you the last clip of that video in a bit. Over 850 lessons in all different subject areas. Why school librarians for this work? You are the trained information literacy specialists. You are the experts in inquiry and in collaboration. You connect with all students. You understand all different curricular areas, and you can be the instructional coaches to provide professional development throughout your school. That's why we collaborated with the New York State Association for School Library Systems 3 years ago on a grant from the Booth Ferris Foundation to spread the leadership of school librarians teaching constructivist media decoding throughout New York State. We ended up training over 1,000 school librarians in those 2 years, working closely with a group of 19 to assess what the needs were throughout New York State for integrating this work. And since that time, we have grown the work. If you're interested in hearing librarians speak about this, go to our website, choose the Librarian tab, and watch the 9-minute video that includes some of what you've seen, but also a 4-minute segment that I'm not going to have time to show you of librarians speaking about how they've done this work and the impact that it's had. But these librarians that we worked with over the last 3 years identified, you need more demonstration videos, particularly for early elementary. And we chose one of the librarians, Michelle Coolbath, and have, as you saw in that short little video, some great little sections of her leading a series of different lessons with her students. We also collaborated with many different school librarians, and still are, to create lessons for library studies. In this case, choosing the right book, Sharon Fox's lesson for early elementary, Michelle Coolbath's lesson on Ramadan, using different kinds of media documents, Bridget Crossman, also an early elementary lesson, in this case about climate change. I know California has new requirements not only for media literacy, but for climate change education. You could bring them two together with this one. Roma Matat, this is a lesson that's being used from upper elementary through college, just looking at 3 different representations of Columbus's, quote, discovery of America to look at historical context and messaging. Or Beth Cuddy's high school lesson about memes that has students not only evaluate what might be true and not true in this pro-Biden or pro-Trump memes, but why they would tend to believe one versus the other and why they might tend to share it to get them to think about their own confirmation biases. And finally, Susan Allen's high school lesson about the decision by the Seuss family to pull Seuss books and the Twitter responses to it, to have a conversation not only about respect and disrespect within literature, but also about the role of TikTok, or the role of X and social media in terms of civil conversations or not. We have new filtering capabilities, the length of time, the kind of media that you can dig down to find the right kinds of documents. We have a new set based on the librarian's request of starter kits for different subject areas, different grade levels, to help people get going with this work and not be overwhelmed with the number of lessons on the website. And then finally, librarians said, we want to do professional development and present to our teachers. Can you provide us with slide sets that show this work? And in addition to slide sets, presenter guides. So we have at different time levels, presenter guides with links to different activities and slide sets and videos for doing this professional development work with your faculty at different amounts of time. Cindy.
So the reason we're able to do all of this and to provide nearly 1,000 now media documents and lessons, more than 3,000 media documents, but nearly 1,000 lessons, is because of grants. We've been able to use grant funding to provide these lessons and create them. And our most recent grant is from the Institute of Museum and Library Services, IMLS, in partnership with AASL and namely the National Association for Media Literacy Education. And it's to take the work that we've been doing with librarians in New York State and now expand that nationally. Very excited about the opportunities that this provides for us. And one part of this is last summer, we were able to offer our first online hybrid course for a group of nearly 40 librarians in New York State. And it went terrifically well. So we're now able to take the grant funding from IMLS to offer that for a group of librarians nationally, again, about probably 40 librarians nationally who are interested in getting training in this CMD work. That's going to occur between March and May this spring. And if you are interested to apply for one of those slots, you can just email me at Scheibe@ithaca.edu. And we're going to give you a QR code at the end that you can use to access this. And we're going to end by showing you a little video. Chris, we're just going to show a little video underscoring the impact of this work on kids.
Because I like this one because it's cool.
It's very interactive, but it's also learning about other people and what they think about whatever the topic is.
Collaborative learning, because you're asking the audience and students, and I feel like a lot of teachers will just put the answer up on a board and expect you to memorize it.
It's like a way of showing not just the teacher's opinion, because sometimes the teacher's has different opinions than the student, so it's a way of showing everyone's opinion.
Media literacy has made me realize that there's a lot of perspectives, and just because they disagree doesn't mean that one is wrong or right.
It's literally like teaching you how to learn.
The immediate thing that comes to my mind is, okay, who made this? What is their purpose for making this? What are my own biases, and how is that informing my opinion of this video?
Our goal is to reach all students in New York State, to shift culture, to improve teaching practice, to reform education to be more inquiry-based, have critical thinking at the center of what teachers do in all subject areas and all grade levels. You know, it's a pretty high aspiration, but it is one that we've got our eye on.
Chris, back to you.
This work is not only about empowering individual students, giving them the skills and the abilities and the habits for the 21st century, it's also about democracy. It is about, as Jefferson spoke to more than 240 years ago, that democracy requires an educated citizenship to function. But as those founding fathers knew, many of whom passed laws, particularly in the South in the United States, that made it illegal for people of African descent to learn to read and to write. We understand, and they understood, that literacy is also about power, and it is about freedom. In the words of Paulo Freire, it's fundamentally about what it means to be a human being, to question and to act on our consciousness and our ability to understand, to decode and to evaluate the world. Cindy.
So we're hoping that you're interested in joining us in this work. We are creating a bi-monthly ML3 newsletter for librarians. We have all sorts of free media decoding resources, of course, and this new Constructivist media decoding online hybrid course. And if you're interested in hosting professional development in your region by Project Look Sharp, for all of those uses, just use this QR code or get in touch with us at projectlooksharp.org. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.